Welcome to another episode of Two Drink Maximum. I'm your co-host Shane.
I'm your other co-host Chase.
Chase, as we record, it is actually Cinco de Mayo. We are recording on Cinco de Mayo to timestamp the episode a little bit. Happy Cinco.
Hopefully
and the weather here is starting to get
time.
a little bit warmer. I don't know if you can see, I'm sweating a little bit in my shirt because it's summer. It's nearly summer. And what do you think about when you think about summer?
Oh man, when I think about summer, I mean, you got to go with baseball and hot dogs. That
Baseball
feels like a summer
dogs.
thing.
Yes.
I'm not even sure baseball's going on right now. I think it's NBA playoffs or what's going on right now.
Yeah, baseball, not there yet.
Yeah, but you can think about it. But that's what like the idyllic summer vision for me is sitting there watching a baseball game, having a hot dog. I don't know why.
And a cold drink, right? A cold beer,
Yes.
cold drink, or whatever, right? And we've definitely got some cold drinks waiting for us. When I think of summer, I think of summer camp. Because did you go to a lot of summer camps when you were a kid?
I did. So the closest I got was church camp when I was growing up, which sounds as exciting as the name is.
Yeah. Well, that's why we are excited to have on the show today Ty McGowan. Ty, welcome to the show, dude. Thank you so much for joining us. Ty is one of the co-hosts of the very famous Rank Kings podcast, which is available everywhere. But I mentioned summer camp specifically because Ty is here today to tell us about a job that he used to have. But before we get into that, Ty, tell us, what are we drinking this evening and why?
We're drinking ranch waters. One, because I mean, just happens to be on Cinco de Mayo. Totally planned that out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Two, tequila is my favorite drink, and even though I live in Texas, I don't like margaritas. I'm not a big margarita guy. There's too much sugar, and ranch waters are just easy and perfect. And there's nothing better than tequila and Topo Chico, the two greatest drinks ever invented.
I'm gonna have to agree. I like the Topo Chico and like the bubbles and the light flavor. It's not as strong as a margarita, like you say, but it is delicious.
Yeah,
I have not had a ranch water in a long time, so this is going to be a refreshing sip for me. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is always my go-to. I was at a wedding this past weekend, and that's all I was drinking was ranch water.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right, well, let's take a sip, everybody. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Digital cheers.
Oh, that is really good because it's very limey too. So it almost tastes a little bit like a margarita.
Yeah.
It is, but it doesn't have that super like sugary aftertaste with all that whatever goes in margarita mix.
Yeah.
It's like 5.5 pounds of sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. All right. Well, I mean, as we mentioned, so you used to work at a summer camp, but before you even started working at a summer camp, you went to this same summer camp. Is that correct?
Yeah. So in sixth grade, the summer after my sixth grade year, I attended Camp Ozark as a camper. I was a 5-year camper through high school. Then I worked there during college. And then they started a camp in Texas called Camp ATX, and I worked there as an assistant director.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So why Camp Ozark? Because that's up in Arkansas, right? So you're a Houston guy.
Yeah, so Camp Ozark has a big presence in Houston. The owners are from Houston. Big Texas A&M family. If anybody from Texas has you have run into a Texas A&M person.
A little cautious about a camp run by Aggies, but that's okay.
Yeah,
same. Yeah.
So there were a lot of people. I just moved to Houston. There were a lot of new kids that I'd just become friends with that went to this camp. So that's the camp that I go to. They still, to this day, their biggest population is still from Houston and Dallas. They hardly actually have any kids from Arkansas that go to the camp. It's really strange. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, and it just kind of became a lifestyle. They have like a youth group that like is based in Houston during the off season, and it's kind of like Young Life in a way. So I just stayed in touch with that like throughout high school and middle school. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's like, I feel like that's fairly rare. People who go to a summer camp and then kind of work at a summer camp, or is that not accurate to a lot of people? Yeah.
So it is kind of rare. There are camps like Ozark where they basically are like, we know when this person's going to graduate. We know that they've been a long time camper. We're going to have them down on a list of people that we're going to recruit in the fall when they're a freshman in college.
There's a camper to counselor pipeline in place already.
It's huge. Yeah.
Is it always just like your own camp trying to recruit you, or is it like a world of camps like trying to have their draft every year with the best counselors that are all in that business?
So when I was working as assistant director, one of my big jobs was I ran the recruiting for the camp. So we would do it's a lot of setting up tables on college campuses, and you would be there, and you'd be in the middle of like two different camps, and there is this kind of rivalry, but it's also this like, hey, we're both doing a job that we're getting paid a lot less than the work we're getting put into. So like there's some camps where we'll like go out and get drinks with each other after we're done recruiting, but there's also a people like try to get your itinerary and like, oh, I'm gonna go make this announcement at this club, and they're like, okay, we got to get there before they do, so we can make the announcement first, kind of thing. So
swipe it out from under them.
yeah.
That's so funny. The mechanics of the politicking of finding good counselors.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
So on that point, like while you were recruiting, what makes somebody a good camp counselor? And then on the flip side, what makes somebody a good camp attendee?
So my theory, the kids I recruited were people who are going to have a good attitude. I think that's like 70% of being a good camper, because the camp I was recruiting for actually had AC. Not a lot of camps have air conditioning in their cabins. So like you got to have someone who has a good attitude. We go through extensive training of just like weeding out people that probably shouldn't work around kids. Like there are some great people out there that just probably should never work with kids.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And it's tough like weeding them out, and we do like 30-minute interviews too, and we interview like 30 people a day. So it's tough to like go through all that, but we have these like sets of questions and like red flags, green flags, yellow flags that like we follow. But yeah, for me, attitude's a huge one. Just, and it's not just being like the bubbly, like I almost never hired like the bubbly, like they seem too happy. Because that's, for me, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Those are the people that
Me
snap.
personally, it's just like,
Yeah, those are the people that snap. Like they get to that point, they're like,
If someone has a way too positive attitude, they have a body buried like under their floorboards.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, we literally like we go through the training we go through. We talk about, okay, it's kind of a yellow flag. So our red flags are immediately don't hire this person. Our yellow flags are like find out more about this. And green flag is obviously like, pass them through. But like we go through training where it's like if their resume in life is too perfect, that's a yellow flag. You need to like like that's too just, crust cut off of the sandwich, like doesn't make any sense, too curated. You got to find out more about them.
Yeah.
I think the number one goal for me is like helping kids find self-esteem. That's like every summer, that's like been the biggest thing. You have so many, I'm gonna get real old man with it. You have so many kids on their phones these days, and
but it's true,
on TikTok,
yeah, it's very true, yeah.
And they don't really experience okay, we're gonna take all technology away from you for 2 weeks, and you have to like go make friends and like learn how to be around other 12-year-olds. And yeah, it's great when camps have like all these like water slides and blobs and shooting sports and like horses and stuff like that. But like really it's giving them a schedule that they can be free in. So like building that structure, but for them, it feels like they're essentially doing whatever they want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool that you'll take that time, one, to vet people like that, and to like build that structure for the kids. And I guess on that point, I guess we've been told that y'all used to have theme nights at your camp. We're just curious, like, what strategies did you employ to keep the kids fully engaged for an entire summer? Obviously, taking away the technology is going to be a big, I guess, trauma for some kids these days. But what do you do to try and replace that gap?
It's tough. So it is traumatic, especially for like the high schoolers. So I was always in charge of the older kids, and I would literally at the first opening night of every session, so we had like 2-week sessions and 1-week sessions, I would have to go into the older boys' cabins and like search through their trunks, and I would find like these strange, like I had some kid who cut a shampoo bottle in half and then like soldered it like shut again. Whoa. Like melted the plastic so it stuck back together and he could like break it open. Like I just picked up the shampoo bottle and I felt it. I'm like, that's not shampoo. There's no way that's shampoo in there.
It was little criminals.
Yeah. But Yeah, we do. So we have theme nights. The way our schedule worked is we'd wake up, have breakfast, and then we called it team competition. So
Okay.
the entire camp is split in on red team and blue team. And like cabin 32 would play cabin 33, red team, blue team in a sport like handball or kickball or a bunch of other just like made up camp games.
Gotcha.
And then so we have like a class schedule basically, so they can sign up for classes to do. So we have like all the normal stuff like, the waterfront blob slides, shooting sports, ropes course. But we also have like a full arts and crafts center. They can do like pottery. We have pickleball courses. We have horsemanship where they can learn how to like take care of and ride horses,
Okay.
stuff like that. So that keeps them real busy. And then we go into lunch, and then we have this time called Stampede, where essentially the entire camp is open. They can go do whatever they want. And then we have worship, and then after dinner we have our theme nights. So every first Monday of a 2-week session is Western night. So it's country themed. Everybody's rocking jorts, and just like stupid cowboy hats and stuff like that. We have like a water world where like everything is in the water. We have
I know you well enough, Ty, to know that you single-handedly invented Waterworld.
Probably.
You willed that into existence. Yeah, Chase, you don't know. Ty loves the movie Waterworld. Unironically,
Okay.
loves that
It's
film.
good.
Yeah.
I didn't invent Waterworld. I did. We brought a lot of themes from Camp Ozark to Camp ATX.
Okay.
I did pitch the name Waterworld because it's called something else at Camp.
Where everyone comes dressed as their favorite Kevin Costner character.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
was
then
the only one.
there's a midnight screening of the Ulysses cut of Waterworld. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's nothing a 12-year-old kid loves more than the Ulysses cut of Waterworld.
Tracks, that sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah.
But the one idea I did come up with, because we have like a new theme night every year, I was like, what if we did everything backwards? What if we like had we had this like breakfast pizza for breakfast, and then we ended the day with breakfast? Kind of did not go over well at all. It's like so interesting where I'm like, this is going to be awesome. Like everyone's going to love this. It's going to be like a nice change in the middle of the week. I didn't realize there's so many kids that are just like right when you change the schedule, like they lose their minds. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They got used to that regimentedness.
Yeah.
I guess, did y'all have like a creative circle for pitching these things, or did y'all just get to like experiment on these kids?
Yeah. So every we call them winter meetings. So every winter we go up to the camp. We have our like company Christmas party, and then we like pitch ideas, like new ideas for different things that we can do to make the experience better for the kids. So yeah, I mean, in the meeting, I gave a great pitch, and they loved it.
Yeah.
Was there a pitch that just absolutely didn't work? Something you thought would be cool that they were like, nah, it's not really ideal.
That was the only one. I wanted to do like a movie themed night, but they were like, no, that's dumb. And I'm like, well, we could just, every kid watches every Marvel movie. And they're like, no, I just don't see it. I'm like, okay, fine.
They only make $1 billion almost every time out the gate, but sure, whatever, it's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, it's stuff like that. We pitch stuff for like the program, like new ideas for like what kids like activities we could do. Like one of my ideas was boat building. So we just give them a bunch of leftover cardboard that we were going to throw away. And they're like, cool. Okay, build a boat and see who can get farthest across the lake.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That brings in a whole lot of skills for those.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, stuff like that. Excuse me, stuff like that. Theme nights, whatever. Those are great ideas. But like, I mean, as you kind of pointed out, like kids today, like because they're so online all the time, it's hard to kind of keep their attention. So, other than theme nights, what are some of the other things that you guys do to keep kids engaged throughout the entire time they're at camp?
I mean, it's really so we have 3 counselors to every cabin. And we encourage our counselors to have like a one-on-one with a camper before they leave. Like, so what are you enjoying about camp? Like, what did you not like? Stuff like that. Just like getting to know the kid. We really, in our staff training, we really encourage counselors to be encouraging. That's a big thing. We don't want our counselors to like discipline too. So like the kids, they're not really friends with their counselors, but also the counselors like aren't their parents kind of vibe. There's more of like a mentor, like fun mentor vibe. And then, it falls on me to be the disciplinarian, like me and this other guy. We're like the disciplinarians at the camp.
Somebody's got to be the bad news.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was the staff disciplinarian and not the
there you go.
not the kid disciplinarian.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really like there are kids that come in and they get it like right away. They're bought in. And then we kind of see like, okay, which kids are kind of like sitting out, which kids are not enjoying themselves. And we had a lot of neurodivergent kids that would come to camp. So there are a lot of kids where stuff was just too much for them. So we'd kind of we'd play it by ear almost every time where we're like, okay, well, let's go find something that you like. And then when they find, like, we had this one kid who like couldn't handle the noise. Like camp is very loud. We're always playing music, we're always shouting, we're always having fun. And this one girl just like couldn't. She always had her earphones on. She just couldn't handle the noise. And we brought her to the horse barn, and she like fell in love with the horses and like stayed there the entire time. And I actually ran into her parents when I was in Austin for this wedding, and she like keeps in touch with the girls in her cabin that were like super into horses. And it was
That's
like
amazing.
a big deal for the parents because she doesn't have a lot of friends back at home. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
incredible.
stuff like that. It's kind of just like you're really just going with the flow. You like kind of never know what's going to happen. And I have plenty of stories of just like insane stuff that we've had to deal with in the past, but you really don't know what's going to go on. And every kid is like truly very different.
It's cool it's adaptive, right? That there is no right answer. And it's kind of, I mean this in a good way. It's like you're figuring it out as you go. You know what I mean? That's cool.
Yeah. And that's why you look for the good attitude, because people can get burnt out on that schedule so easily. Of just like always being on your feet. You kind of never have a break until your head hits the pillow at night.
You had mentioned to the both of us that you think that the greatest summer camp movie is Wet Hot American Summer. And I think we both would love to hear like why you think that is the case. And then also like what about Wet Hot American Summer can you confirm is very true to life? You know what I mean? Like what parts of that movie or aspects of it are like, yeah, that happens,
So honestly, everything. So it's we already talked about the chaos.
They're talking cans of beans.
Yeah.
We already talked about the chaos of the campers. You have the weird like local person that like works in the kitchen who like probably shouldn't be working at a camp. Like I definitely saw them doing some weird stuff at the bar in town the other night.
In the kitchen, they're okay.
Yeah. And then you have, so obviously the counselor trip, like, oh, it was a great 2 hours where they're like shooting up heroin and like having sex and all that. Yeah, that it's a little exaggerated, but that vibe is what a day off is like for counselors. Like going into town, we had a couple so we hire internationally too. We had a couple from Mongolia, who got pregnant on their day off. Just they came up to me and like, hey, we can't, or the wife came up to me and was just like, I can't lift heavy things anymore. I'm pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Didn't waste any downtime.
But it's stuff like that. Like I caught 2 counselors having sex in the bathroom, like in the middle of the night. That's like a big thing too, is like college kids, like, yeah, they're horny during college, but when you put them all at a summer camp, it's like once the kids are asleep, there's no inhibitions. They're just searching for a place to hook up. And
I can't imagine.
I had like a ATV vehicle that was like assigned to me, and me and this other guy would go spotlighting. And we would get this big ass flashlight and we just go around and try to find people. Yes, Wet Hot American Summer is insane and like, turned up to 11, but there's nothing more accurate in media than working at a summer camp than Wet Hot American Summer. Like the Paul Rudd character.
Yeah.
I've dealt with that counselor every year I've been at a summer camp.
Just like, super awesome dude, bro.
Yeah, that one reaction where he like throws his stuff on the ground and it keeps sighing every time he has to pick something else up. An actual like interaction I've had in real life.
Where was the place that was the most either dangerous or just like whatever that you caught counselors like going at it? Where you're like, guys, come on, like seriously.
So in the camp that I was assistant director at, because it's in the hill country in Texas, it's like right outside of San Antonio. So there's like rattlesnakes everywhere. There's so many dangerous things. They would like go and hike. Like we had like 400 acres of land and we only used like 40 of it, but they'd like go like hike up these trails and like there's a good chance they'd get lost.
Oh god.
Yeah,
like, fully get lost. We had people like go to the top of the water slides and stuff, and it's like, okay, you slide down that and you hit your head. No one knows you're down there.
Oh, good
We'd
grief.
have people go up to the top of the ropes course. I mean, they find anywhere that's secluded, they will find it.
It's like dealing with a bunch of animals.
Although, to be fair, that is, now that I'm thinking about it, that is kind of a baller move. Like you finish, being intimate with your partner, and then you're like, all right, I'm done. Peace out. And you water slide away.
Water slide down.
Yeah, that's kind of a James Bond move. That's pretty dope.
That's big, yeah.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
The ropes course is a close second by rappelling away.
Yeah, bada.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's,
Guys, you've had a variety of counselors that come to your camp. Obviously, it sounds like.
yeah.
But you also mentioned the variety of kids that show up. So how do you said you worked with a cabin as young as 7, and I don't recall how old some of the counselors you mentioned can get. But how do you, and especially as a camp director, manage to create a cohesive experience for that range of ages? Like, how do you give them everything they want out of their summer?
So it's on it. We have like a three-tiered. It's like three different programs. So we have like an elementary program, a middle school program, and a high school program. So essentially 6 to going into their senior year of high school.
Gotcha.
Because I was like 18 when I was a camper. I had like a full beard when I was a camper. It was very strange.
Driving up in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the difference between a 6-year-old and a 17-year-old is a universe of difference. I mean, literally, physically, from motor skills to interest to social interactions, right? So that's got to be a challenge to figure out experiences for those different groups.
Yeah. So with the elementary kids, it's very curated. Like there's this program that we had called Debut where we essentially like let them experience everything at camp. So they go as a cabin to every class with their counselors to everything. They get to experience everything at camp. And that's kind of how the rest of the day works. They're always sticking together and the counselors are really good at it. So I was also in charge of counselor placement. So I felt that was my best skill as being an assistant director. I just kind of knew like this guy needs to be with 6-year-olds or this guy needs to be with middle schoolers. I was able to tell that right off the bat. Middle schoolers, they do kind of whatever they want. They kind of know what camp is.
Just try not to get them to attack you, I think, as the step of middle schooler.
It's also so strange because you have kids that have not gone through puberty, kids that are going through puberty. You have like kids who have no self-esteem issues. You have some kids that have crazy self-esteem. It's like insane. Middle school cabins, I always think, are just the hardest cabins to be a counselor of. But they kind of, for the most part, they know what they're doing. They're just going to go do whatever they want. They know what they like to do. And they make friends easier than anyone else. And then for the older kids, the program's way more curated for like bonding between the other older campers. So like for the 2 oldest boy cabins and the 2 oldest girl cabins, we had this thing called senior trip where I would lead them like to the back of our land where we had like a campsite, and we go out there and we camp for the weekend. And we cook like hot dogs and stuff like that. And we sleep outside in hammocks and
hot dogs are summer, Shane.
The
whole camp program dedicated to it.
Look, let's be honest. Hot dogs are every season. A hot dog.
Dude, here's what I'm thinking.
On Christmas morning, a nice Christmas morning hot dog.
Christmas dog.
Yeah, dude. Here's what I'm thinking: hot dog theme, like hot dog theme night. Like, there's not a food or beverage that you can't make from a hot dog. You can blend that thing up, make a smoothie.
We had a state park themed night. So we had corn dogs Like we had like carnival food, so we did have corn dogs, and those were a big hit.
Nice. There you go.
But yeah, it's for the different age groups. It's very we all had different areas that we were in charge of. So I was always in charge of the older kids, and there were two other guy assistant directors. One was in charge of the middle schoolers, and then one was in charge of the younger kids. So kind of it was like on us to be like, instead of being like, okay, how can the entire camp be engaged? You just focus on this age group and how they can be engaged, and then this person will figure out the other kids, kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's a science to it that Chase and I are learning, right? That it seems easy and it seems like it just happens, but it doesn't, right? It takes somebody like you to think these things through. That's cool.
It takes some effort, and apparently it takes some strategizing to convert them into competing teams, like you mentioned earlier.
That's
so
really
one.
Really,
are you having your own little camper draft going on inside that internally amongst your counselors? And two, why would you want to cultivate competition among the kids?
Okay, so this is a great question, because this is actually one of the biggest arguments like in the camping world. Is I think competition is good if it's not all competition. So out of the day, we only have 30 minutes out of like an entire day that's competition, which I think is good. I think it's good for some kids to learn competition. I also think it's good for kids to learn how to work on a team.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, bigger than the competition part. Again, camp is started by Aggies. They love to be the best. So
they love thinking they're the best. I want that on the record. But yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah.
They love thinking they're thinking.
Yeah.
They're Aggies.
That's a really good one. But yeah, I think competition is a good thing if it's not too much. And we have a level above counselor called top staff, where they're essentially like middle management. And they're kind of more hands-on with the counselors and the campers than like assistant directors can be, and they like referee every game, and we always have radios on us, so if something gets out of hand, they radio us, hey Ty, can you come take care of this? Stuff like that. Or they just know how to be like, okay, Counselor John, you need to chill out. These kids are 12 years old.
Too intense.
You are not Nick Saban, and you will never be Nick Saban. You need to calm down.
Yeah.
Kind of
it's thing. Horseshoes, chill.
Yeah. It's like I had to like tell a counselor to chill out on 8-year-old kickball. Like that's not something I need to tell people to chill out on. That should be
every
inherent.
word in that sentence. 8-year-old kickball. There's nothing serious about that sentence. No, calm down.
But and there is no kid draft. It's all random. Although when we assign the counselors to teams, I may or may not have just pulled up all of the guys' Instagram accounts and was like, oh, this person played college sports. He's going to be on the red team, because I was on the red team.
Nice.
Loading the deck a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, the way that you phrase it, it makes perfect sense to us that a little competition is healthy. I mean, life isn't all about competition, but there is competition in life. So if we can teach these kids a little bit earlier to join a team and, face some competition, we're in full agreement that sounds like a good idea to us,
Yeah, when I was a camper, the team competition part of the day was probably my least favorite part of the day. I played sports in high school, and I went to camp with like all of my high school friends. So there was like this kind of rivalry where we would be a little bit more physical than most campers would be with each other. And there might've been a broken nose, there might've been some bruised ribs at the end of the day. But that was my least favorite part of the day. But I agree. I think competition can be good if it's taught the right way. Like you don't want that psycho counselor that plays, Division III football to just like, dude, chill out. Like we had a guy, he played football at Mary Hardin Baylor, in the middle of nowhere, Texas, a terrible town in Texas. It's right outside of Temple. If anybody knows where Temple is.
I know where Temple, Texas.
I went to Baylor, man. So I've been to Temple many a time. Yeah.
So we had this one guy who's offensive lineman, and he just got heated and pushed the coach of the opposing team down on the ground and gave him a concussion. We were like, dude, like what? What are you doing here, man?
Come on here, dude. Yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you mentioned like top staff. So like a question, like, in the restaurant business, when you get hired, if you have no experience, right? The entry level job in a restaurant is dishwasher, right?
Right.
And then there's a hierarchy to it, right? You work your way up to prep staff, and then maybe line cook, and then grill station, chef de cuisine, whatever, right? You work your way kind of up. Does it work that way at a summer camp? Like if you have no experience, like if Chase and I got hired, is there like a bottom position where we're kind of shoveling shit, or is there do you assign people jobs based off of their personalities and skill sets?
So is there a cabin of just all the sneezing kids?
No.
Cal, you got to with all the sneezing kids for the first 2 weeks.
You get every kid that's allergic to peanuts. So most of the people we hire, they just finished their freshman year of college. That's the minimum education level or age where we hire people, is they have to have been out of high school for a year. We have had people who like take gap years and then they come be a counselor and then go to college after, kind of stuff like that. But usually they'll be a counselor for 2 years and then top staff for 2 years. And then if they want, and then by then they have graduated college. If they want to be on permanent staff, want to be an assistant director, they interview and stuff like that. So it's kind of built. I mean, there is like I've said a bunch, there's strategy to it where it's like, we want these people to have eventually leveled up to the point when they graduate college. We want to be the first company that offers them a job when they graduate college.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So there is a hierarchy. Now, if y'all were hired today, I don't think y'all would be counselors. Probably throw you in the kitchen staff, to be honest.
Yeah, totally. Put me with Christopher Maloney. That's fine.
Peeling potatoes.
Or honestly, maintenance is like the most fun people at camp, at every summer camp. Yeah. Oh yeah. Cause you have a mix of, you have some people that live on property. You have some people that are like college kids who are like, I know I don't want to be around kids, but I want to get like experience like working in maintenance. Maybe they're like a construction major or something like that. And then you have like random like townies that like come in for the day, and they're just so fun because they kind of have no rules because they're never around kids, so they kind of can do whatever they want. And that's where most of our international staff works too.
Okay.
And they're just like so fun, like incredibly fun.
Just from a different country out in the woods going, this is all great.
It's insane. Like they literally, like their first experience in America is the hill country in Texas. And
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
and
then
I'm sure they have one day of like 107-degree weather, and they're like, what on earth? Why is it
Yeah.
But then they have the program that we hire them through. So I was in charge of the international hiring too. The program that we hire them through, they have a full month where they can go do whatever they want. Now, most of them they spend half the month in Vegas and then half the month in Miami. That's the two big popular spots for them. But they have like a month to go just travel around America, and it's paid for by this program, essentially.
That sounds like a good deal.
I was going to say, man, me and Chase might be in the market for new jobs. But I tell you what, the number one job that needs filling right now is Chief Refill Officer. And that's about where we're at, because I'm looking at 3 empty glasses. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with more with Ty McGowan. Chase, I don't know about you, but it does feel like ever since COVID hit, we spend so much time in our homes, and our homes have kind of become our office, and it's been this kind of weird blend of professional and home. I find that occasionally it is difficult to become creative in the house. Sometimes you got to get out and you got to find a different space to kind of let that creativity fly. And we are excited to share with our listeners that if you are in the LA area, we have the solution for you. We are proudly sponsored by The Muse Rooms, which is a creative co-working space that is here. They have a Hollywood location and they have a Burbank location, 2 convenient locations for you, that is ready to serve all of your creative space needs. If you want to rent space for a day to work on that screenplay, or if you need to rent a conference room for a big meeting that you have with a team that doesn't meet regularly, The Muse Rooms has got you covered. It's a great space. It's a great owner. It's a great vibe too. It's just a really cool, you'll get points with the youngsters. Oh, yeah. Being cool for renting out.
It's the hip spot to be, indeed.
It definitely is. So give the Muse Rooms a check if you're for all of your creative co-working space needs at the Muse, MUSE rooms.com.
Hello and welcome back from the break. You're listening to Two Drink Maximum. We're currently talking to Ty McGowan, and we're drinking some delicious ranch water, which is a combination of Topo Chico, tequila, and lime, which is very, very simple.
Did you not, the first time you heard the drink, And knowing that it was a Texas-based drink, did anyone actually think that like someone put ranch dressing or ranch seasoning into water? Like I admit, I did the first time. I was like, "What?" You know?
So I grew up in not an alcoholic family, but a very drinkable family. If that
Okay, a fun
is that the
family.
right? Yeah, a fair. I definitely
Cool,
a fun
a
family.
cool family.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
call it
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So I knew how to make a martini when I was like 8.
Nice.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah. So I knew what it was. I did. There was a while where I thought ranch waters had to be made with water from a ranch, kind of like I
Oh,
thought it was like spring water or something like that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, interesting.
When I was a kid, I thought it was Whataburger, and I thought that before they served the burgers, they dipped them in water. And I was like, who would want that? It's a soggy, gross burger. My mom had to be like, no, Shane, it's a pun. What a burger. It just means it's really good. They don't dip it in water.
it's yeah. We just called it that because we're all dummies in Texas and we can't speak properly. So what a burger becomes water burger.
Whataburger, yeah.
The water burger.
The Whataburger. It's always there. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ty, it sounds like you were wildly independent growing up, making martinis and such.
Yeah.
We were curious. How do you help these kids that come to these camps deal with potentially the first time they've had the level of independence that they're given? I know you said it's very regimented, but they are being asked to make some choices away from their parents from the first time. So
Yeah,
what do you try and build up in them and cultivate them over the summer to make good decisions, I guess?
so the first night is always the hardest night for kids who are like homesick and stuff like that. And we actually have a group of moms that come in, like 2 or 3 moms. They're called Camp Moms. And they come in and they completely volunteer. Their kids can come there for like half off for 2 weeks. But they just deal with the homesick kids for the first night. And it's kind of just it's almost like a bargaining system where it's like, okay, look, you don't want to call your mom right now. I get it. How about we go do this one thing? I want you to do this one thing. And it's usually once they do something, they have fun, they get into the groove of everything. And there are some kids that just don't ever get it, and there are like they become so disruptive that we've had to send some kids home. We had one kid this past summer try to escape.
Try to escape.
He was
Steve McQueen is what we called him.
He was 13 years old.
Little Papillon.
He hopped the front gate and walked to Bernie, which was like a 15-minute drive on these like back like
Kid was serious.
like hill country roads. He walked all the way there, called his mom, and his mom's like, I'm not going to come pick you up. Go call the camp. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
that you left, and that we had to go. Like he called like the
way to go for that parent for being like tough. What do you think you're doing?
Yeah. There's something exactly my mom would do the same thing. My mom, they're like, we have so many kids that get dropped off by their parents. My first year at camp, my mom's like, you're getting on the bus that they provide, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Me and your father are having a 2-week staycation now that you're not here. Yeah. So wait, what happened to the 13-year-old? Did he get to stay or did he get kicked out?
Well,
Does he still live in that town?
So it was 2 days before camp ended, and his parents were out of the country. Like they were on vacation, and they were planning on flying back into San Antonio and then picking him up. So we had to. He was kind of just like on watch for the rest of camp. But like I just sit down and talk to him. Like, how did you even get out of here? And he was like, I literally stayed up till like 3 a.m. and like just bailed. Like I waited
Constructed
till
a paper mache head.
everybody was asleep, and he just walked. It's insane. Like that. The walking 15 minutes in the hill country highways is like the most dangerous thing I can think of right now.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's where you meet the chupacabra.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
out there.
But it's crazy. It's we have kids that just they never kind of acclimate. And then we have kids where they just need to accomplish one thing. They just need to do one thing where it's really just they need to feel some self-esteem that they don't get at home. And look, I don't want to call out any parents that are listening to this, but there are some parents that y'all are way too close to your kids and you don't let them kind of do what they need to do to like learn some independence. And it is fun to be like, a lot of times my strategy when I was a counselor is when a kid is struggling with something, I want to kind of explain to them what to do, but I don't want to show them how to do it. Like I want them to feel the accomplishment of
teach a man to fish.
Yeah, it's like when you play video games and you're just like, I'm gonna put in all these cheat codes, and I definitely finished the game. Like, no, you didn't. Like, it's kind of like you have to accomplish this on your own, kind of thing. And I remember there was this one kid who was very far on the autistic spectrum, couldn't handle all the competition stuff. And we do this thing at the end of camp, the last day of camp. We have this huge relay race called the Ultimate Solution, where it starts with the younger kids and then it ends with the older kids obstacle course.
Nice.
And it's like who wins this kind of thing. And it's great because it's like you have some, like, we keep a point total for the whole 2-week session, and so, blue team goes way high up, and then the red team, like, one kid whiffs it on the soccer relay and misses the goal, and then the red team's in lead, and it's really fun.
That's fun.
And this one kid was doing like the hardest thing that we have. It's called Osick Relay. It's named after this guy, Mr. Osick. He invented this sport for camp. It's essentially like soccer, but with a rugby ball.
Okay.
It's really difficult to like dribble a rugby ball with your feet because it's not ball shaped. It's like an egg.
It is an egg. It's the appropriate form of hand egg. You're gonna call it anything.
Yeah.
So they have to dribble through these cones and then just kick it into a goal. And he was so nervous. So I was like, okay, I pulled him aside. We're going to go eat breakfast before everybody else. We're going to skip the morning announcements. We're going to go eat breakfast. And then we're just going to kind of practice all day. And I let him kind of do it at his own pace. Like, he kind of didn't want to do it at the start. So then I started doing it and showed him. And then I kind of made a competition, like, okay, if you make it on the first try, I'll buy you some soft serve at the store after everything's over, kind of thing. And he just, like, once he made it in the goal a couple of times, it's like and this was a kid who was just like, I never want to come back ever. And then the next year, he's the first kid in line to get off the bus. Like, he wants to be there so bad. So it's, for a lot of these kids, it's just like doing something by themselves for the first time. Because I was raised in a very independent home where my parents were kind of like, you just have to do something extracurricular and you can kind of do whatever you want. Like, as long as you're doing some extracurricular activity at school, we kind of don't care what you're doing. I mean, obviously, like, all safe. They didn't enjoy when I
They'll start robbing banks, but you get it.
Yeah. They didn't enjoy when I'd show back up to my house with an empty bottle of whiskey in the back of my truck. But, it's like other stuff.
Yeah.
But,
you didn't say what kind of hobbies.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of times there's, you have kids that are just, everything is like, let me make this better for you and easier for you. And you face nothing difficult in your life. So then when you're faced with something difficult, you just crumble.
Yeah.
And a lot of times at camp, like, kids face that day of, like, they've never been away from family members before. And then you have, like, some kids who are just like, they love it. They get that independence. Like, I had one of my buddies, his nephew, it was his first year at camp. We were campers together, me and his uncle. And this kid gets off the bus and they're like, please, like, look out for him. Like, just make sure he's okay. He's like immediately like the coolest kid at camp. Like, he's doing whatever. He's like that one kid that's like, he has like a shooter sleeve on and a baseball jersey and a flat bill hat. Like, he doesn't give a rip about anything. He's 6 years old and he's just like running camp. Like, so you get the full spectrum of kids when you're there. And it is hard to, like, there are some kids that, the cars just don't fall the right way and they just don't get to experience it and get the full experience because they're so focused on getting back home. And then you have some kids that it takes them a little while. And then you have the kids that are just like, I know where I'm at. I know what I can do. I'm in for it.
It's in a really cool way. It seems like your job provides you the opportunity to instill some just common core human values into kids. Do you find that there is a very common value that summer camp kind of allows you to teach? Is there something that you feel like you're instilling to the counselors all the time? Is there one kind of common thing, whether it's be independent or whatever it might be? But do you feel like there's something that you're always getting a chance to teach the kids to learn as a value, as a human?
I honestly, I think it's like self-esteem, and I think it's like working together with other people. Because we have a lot of kids. It is on the more expensive side of camps, so we do get a lot of very rich white kids that come to the camp. But we also have we have a bunch of kids that come from like Mexico City that come from one session, and then we have kids who have never been around people from a different country and they get to experience that for the first time. Or I know for a fact we have some kids that have never really been around someone who's a different race than them, and and they get to experience that. Or someone who would rather play Dungeons and Dragons than go play basketball, and they're in that cabin with them for 2 weeks. It is kind of like a whole life experience. They kind of get to experience college in a way, before college like really exists, because like there's such a bubble, especially in Texas, because everything's so spread out. So every high school is kind of just like the same people are always at that high school. There's not really a huge difference. But or maybe some city schools, but it's just like they really get to experience like what it means to work together. Self-esteem is a huge, that for me, that's like the biggest thing, is like seeing a kid who's afraid of jumping on the blob and then doing it on the last day, and like, oh, that's not scary, and then they're just at the blob for 2 hours just doing the blob. But they were scared all week to do it, and it's kind of just like it's an independence away from, and I'm sure there's some parents out there listening to this that are like, no, we can show them independence, but there is something that you learn when you're away from your parents.
Oh, dude, 100%. Yeah. There is a ton of stuff that you do away from your parents that you would never in a million years do.
Right. And I guess we're also curious, how often are you asked to be a surrogate parent for some of these kids? Say they're dealing with something, and then what is that challenge like, and how do you approach it? Because obviously you don't want to overstep bounds. But like you said, to instill these values in these kids, it takes some work from you.
Every day. That's one of the things that I kind of sell when I'm recruiting kids. I'm like, you're learning practical stuff that you will never learn from it. Like, if you're interning to be an accountant during the summer, you're not going to learn how to like practical stuff for being a parent. Like, you will learn that stuff while you're a counselor. And we deal with like some really hard stuff. We have the owner of our camp, his wife is a child psychologist. So like I've had kids that are like, parents are abusive. I
was going to say the dark side of that, right?
Yeah. I had a kid in my cabin when I was working at Ozark. We had a guy who, smartest guy I've ever met in my life. He's from like one of the worst parts of the country. He's from Edwardsville, like right outside of St. Louis, which is like top 5 murder capital of the world. And he's just this nerdy dude that loves Marvel comics and played high school soccer. But he went to Vandy, then got his master's at Duke, and then got his doctorate at Harvard.
I mean, it's crazy to me that like this job, I'm now kind of realizing you have to have such a wide net of being able to kind of deal with everything, that it's incredible that you guys are kind of able to do that smoothly, you know, and kind of do it seamlessly as far as the participants are concerned. But it's crazy that you guys have to train and then have to be able to deal with such a wide net of stuff, right? That's pretty impressive. I mean, I think it's a skill that people don't necessarily think of when they think of a camp counselor, but it absolutely is true, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I guess
there are some camps out there that like, they don't let like neurodivergent kids be campers, because it's just like, we don't want to deal with that. That's not something we want to. And we're like, we'll take anybody, bring them in. The only thing that we have restrictions on are like physical handicap, like not very wheelchair accessible. Like there's no like sidewalks, roadways. It's all just dirt roads, stairs, hiking. But like there are camps out there that we're like, we just don't want to deal with it, and we bring our counselors in, and we have a week to train them in all this. And it is a lot of like, there's a reason I don't work there anymore. Like I was like, from May to August, I was up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I go to bed at 3 a.m. because I'm dealing with everything in any given day. So it was a really fun experience. I encourage, if there's any college kids listening, it's the best first job you could ever have because every job after is going to be the easiest job of your life. It's going to be so easy.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, like obviously because you have to have such a wide net, and you have to prepare for all these possibilities. It's got to be, in some regards, it's got to be a little bit of a stressful job. What do you do when you've had, and it could just happen in the middle of the day, like you're in the middle of a soccer game or whatever, and you're like, I've had it with these fucking kids. You know what I mean? Like I need to take a smoke break. I need to walk it off. Like, what do you do in that situation?
So there's a lot of leaning on other people. So there was two other like we're a smaller camp. So Camp Ozark currently has about 1,400 kids there in a 2 week session. We at Camp OTX have about 450 to 500 depending on the session. Um, so there were three other male assistant directors because like I couldn't really lean on the women assistant director because they can't just go into a guy's cabin and deal with like
Somebody peeing in your trunk.
Yeah. This kid just crapped himself in the shower. Can you go deal with that kind of thing? Which real story that happened.
I mean, at least they were in the shower.
Sorry. Not in the shower, right outside the shower. Yeah, yeah.
So close,
But
so close.
in the shower has fully happened before.
Yeah.
But there have been times where I'll call this guy out because he doesn't work there anymore. So Jackson, his name's Jackson, and I just go up to him. I'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just overseeing like." He was in charge of like the morning program, like the classes that kids could choose. He's like, I'm just dealing with some of these classes, making sure the counselor's getting there on time. And I'm like, hey, I just had to deal with this. Can you go talk to them? And then I'll just like look over this like clerical stuff, just like making sure people are there on time is like my break during the day. Or there are times where it's like, I'm gonna skip lunch. I'm gonna go to the camp store and I'm gonna get the biggest serving of ice cream and I'm just gonna sit on the porch. I'm gonna put my headphones in. I'm gonna zone out for like
Great.
30 minutes and just like chill. And that's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Or you find like the kid that like everyone has a favorite camper. We always tell our counselors, hey, you can't have favorites. Every counselor has a favorite camper.
Yeah, come on now.
I find that favorite camper, or I was lucky enough where my youngest brother was old enough to be a counselor. I'd go like hang out with him and his kids and just like kind of like just gonna chill for like 5 minutes, let off some steam, kind of do my own thing. Or I'll text Danny, my co-host, Danny or Ellen, my co-host during for the Rank Kings, and I'll just let off all the cuss words that I've been holding in. Well, just these fucking kids, man, they're just so ridiculous. So yeah, there's no smoke breaks.
No smoke breaks.
Yeah,
I mean that in a metaphorical sense.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
So you've got your strategies to deal with the kids. We wanted to know, was there a counselor from your past that inspired you to pursue this career? So anybody that was like your mentor in the counsel world?
Yeah, so his name's Ben Monk. He actually just went back to work at
Cool name,
Camp
by the way.
Ozark.
Super cool name. Yeah.
Sick name. Ben Monk. He was my counselor. He was a longtime camper at Camp Ozark, so he was like kind of the dude there. And he was our counselor, and then he was like our youth leader. He moved to Houston and became our youth leader. And he was the kind of guy who like just encouraged us not to. So I went to Memorial High School in Houston, which, if anyone's familiar with Dallas, is essentially the Highland Park of Houston.
Yeah.
And I only went there because my mom taught there, so I wasn't like the rich kid there. So like it's hard there. Like I went to a school that not on the level of Clueless, but kind of like you had a social status if you went to this high school, kind of thing. And he's like the first person that was like, you don't need to worry about that. No one cares about that like at all, kind of thing. And he like recruited me to come be a counselor and was kind of my mentor when I was a counselor. And he was the guy that I went to when I didn't know what was going on or what to do in this certain situation. And, now him and his wife are fully working for camp with their 3 kids. And
Nice.
it's, it's incredible. But yeah, he was kind of among many. I was lucky enough that I had really good counselors. I feel like once you get a status at camp, this sounds so conceited. Once you get a status as a camper, when people are like, this group of kids, longtime camper, we need to give them kind of like they're the oldest kids. We got to give them the best counselor to kind of end their camping experience.
Mm-hmm.
They got to end on a high note, kind of thing. And that's what I got, and it was really cool that he was our counselor, and then he gave me this group of kids who like went to my high school. And I've had so many cabins over the years, but like these like 4 kids went to my high school. My mom was some of their teachers. Like
nice.
I know them. I know where they grew up, and now they're like 22. Like I saw one of them out at the bars in Houston, and he was like, "Dude, come have a cigarette with me." I'm like, "That's insane. The last time I saw you, you were 14 years old."
You turned into a camp counselor. You should not do that. Don't do that.
But yeah, it's I had a lot of mentors, for sure. I believe I have I know some of the training that other camps go through, and I truly believe Camp Ozark and OTX trains their recruiters better than any other camp to find the right people to be counselors.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Ben. I mean, obviously, as a mentor, he did a great job. You went from camp counselor to the co-host of a wildly popular podcast called The Rank Kings. So, I mean, I've been on the show a number of times. I feel like I could describe it, but I don't want to steal your thunder, man. So tell our listenership about The Rank Kings, how it started. And, I mean, obviously, you can find it wherever podcasts are, but tell us a little bit about The Rank Kings.
Yeah, so how it started is actually my favorite thing to talk about. So me and Danny, my co-host, we were in this Discord of a podcast called Mad About Movies. Did you know, by the way, that Kent is Chase's cousin? Oh, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we were in that Discord, and me and Danny would get into like fake fights to make people uncomfortable. Like we'd get into fights where people would be like, "Oh, y'all need to like chill out," and then we'd like DM each other and be like, "Hey, say this," like, or like, funny. Let's like raise the bar. And then during COVID, Danny reached out and was like, "What if we just turn this into a podcast?" And so the rankings, we rank a different topic every week. So this week, the topic that we're ranking is celebrity endorsed products. So we rank them 1 to 10. We usually have a guest on to judge it. It's usually Ellen, but Ellen just had a kid. She just had back surgery too, but she's good. Everything's good. She's
good.
Yeah. So we're waiting for her to come back on. It might be a while. But we have a guest on to pick the winner of who has the best list. We actually have a Shane rule where Shane came on early in the rankings lore and picked his own list for the winner.
Yeah, because Danny and Ty's list sucked, so I picked my own list as the winner, and they made a rule that you can't do that anymore.
Well, you got one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of the way I described it to Shane, a couple of weeks ago. It's like, if TwoDrinkMaximum is like the filet you get at the steakhouse, we're kind of like the gas station hot dog, where it's like, sure, you definitely need it sometimes, but you're going to regret it 30 minutes after you're done listening,
Well, I think you're underselling it. And the truth is, the show is such a fun listen. Like, it's really great. So what Chase and I thought was that in the spirit of the rankings, we're not going to do a top 10 list because we don't have all the time in the world for that. But what Chase and I have done is that we want to flip the script on you, and you are going to be the judge finally for an episode.
Okay.
And we have ranked our top 3 best fictional summer camps to work at, not to go to as a counselor, to work at.
That's a big difference.
Indeed it is. Okay. Yeah. So Chase, why don't we'll go 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. So why don't you start with your number 3 and explain it? And Ty, feel free to jump in and ask any questions. But yeah, you are the judge here. So at this point, it's your show. You can ask whatever questions you want of each of us.
Okay. So my top 3 fictional camps to work at. Number 3 for me is camp spelled with a K. Key from Ernest Goes to Camp, if you're familiar with that film. This is the camp that Ernest worked at, full of an eclectic group of counselors and campers themselves. and ultimately ends in a turtle bombardment to stop developers from taking over the camp. And that sounds like an incredible summer to me.
Is Ernest there?
Ernest is there.
Okay. That's
He's
a
one
big
of the
deal.
lead counselors. Yeah.
Okay.
So your coworker is Ernest, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I am familiar. I'm from I have family from East Texas, so I'm very familiar with the Ernest franchise.
Ernest P. Worrell, if people don't know, he's the voice of the Slinky Dog. He also had a series of, I don't even know what to call these movies. I don't know how they got made, but good for him.
Be the Ernest universe.
Yeah, he's got his own
whole
universe.
cinematic universe.
The ECU, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just to see, his 100. The finale of the movie is they parachute a bunch of snapping turtles onto a construction crew and make them run away.
Yeah,
as you do at camps.
Yeah.
And I just want to be there for that.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. My number 3, I picked this 80% because it is my answer, 20% because I know my audience here. It is Camp Ivanhoe from Moonrise Kingdom. I mean, if you worked at Camp Ivanhoe, your uniforms would be perfectly pressed. Everything, the trains would run on time. Everything would be very kind of nice and neat. You're on this very picturesque island, and it doesn't seem, with the exception of the events of the movie, it seems like otherwise Camp Ivanhoe is a pretty stress-free place. It runs pretty smoothly, I think it would be a pretty easy summer gig to work at Camp Ivanhoe.
To hang out with Ed Norton.
Yeah, that is interesting. You're definitely pandering. For sure, pandering.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's like a Boy Scout camp, so that changes things a little bit,
Yeah,
It's
you learn knot tying and fire building and all that. Yeah, those are good skills,
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 2, Chase?
All right, for my number 2 on the top camps to work for, I have Camp Nowhere from the same titled film, Camp Nowhere, where a group of children create their own summer camp and recruit perhaps the dumbest adult on the planet to come be the camp owner on behalf of them, which is, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name now. The actor that plays the counselor, it's Doc Brown. What's his real name?
Lloyd.
All right, so they recruit Christopher Lloyd to come in and run their camp for them and basically be the main point of contact. I'm going to this camp because there are no rules. The kids are running it, so you're really getting a lot of skills, and they ultimately learn a lot of really important lessons by the end of the summer. And it just sounds like a really fun camp. Camp Nowhere.
I've never heard of this movie.
Really?
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah.
Chase, I love you, buddy. I hate to throw you under the bus, but that sounds like you're a camp counselor at Lord of the Flies. That sounds like the worst place to work.
But it works out for them.
Hey, Shane, almost every camp, man.
Is Lord of the Flies, yeah.
You got some Lord of the Flies aspects in almost every
enough.
camp, man.
The kids eventually revolt.
I had these 2 campers. Sorry to just divert.
No, of course.
Campers. They're both from Monroe, Louisiana. And one guy was Big Tex, not from Texas.
I love them
and
already.
Big Sean. And they were like extras from the movie, like heavyweights. Like they definitely like big dudes. Like they were like my size and they were 12 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's the end of the day. We're waiting. Everyone's in their uniforms, waiting for the parents to come in. One of them walks up with a dead squirrel in his hand. And he's like, "Hey, Ty, we just threw this rock at the squirrel. We just killed the squirrel." And parents are walking around. I'm like, "I don't know, man. Just go throw it in the forest."
Put it somewhere else.
There's some aspect of anything kind of goes in the summer camp.
Oh, that's so funny.
There you go. See? Oh, God. All right. Well, fair enough. From Camp Nowhere to my number 2, which is Camp Anawana from the TV show Salute Your Shorts. It just seemed like they were a tight, the campers were all pretty nice. They were pretty all well behaved, but it just seemed like they just got into pleasant hijinks. Nothing was too serious. You know what I mean? It was just a stern finger wag would be all you would ever need to do to discipline, a kid at Camp Anawana. I mean, the hardest you ever saw anybody yell was in the theme song where it's like, "Sing it right or pay the price." And then all the kids got back in line. It just seemed like nothing ever got too wildly Lord of the Flies.
I mean,
at Camp
the
Anawana.
awful was pretty quote unquote awful.
Yeah. Fun story about actually, there was a woman who worked at the studio that I work at. She doesn't work there anymore. But we used to hit the gym together, and our gym had classes. And so we would be in classes together, doing whatever hit or step or something. We'd be sweating it out. And for weeks, I was like, God, she looks so familiar. Why does she look so familiar? And then after a couple weeks, like one time she was like, yeah, I used to be on TV when I was a kid. And I was like, you did? What were you in? She was like, I was in the show Salute Your Shorts. And I was like, I knew it. I knew you looked familiar from somewhere. And so, yeah, she was on the show. But Camp Anawana is my number 2, a camp I would like to work at as a counselor.
I'll have to check that out. That was before my time. That was that ended 2 years before I was born. So I don't think I haven't seen Salute Shorts yet.
So here's the deal, dude. You can skip the whole show. Just watch the theme song. The theme song is one of those, like, if you're a millennial, it is permanently burned into your brain. Like, that theme song, and it's burned into your brain, man. Just listen to the theme song and then text me back.
It's got an 8.2 on IMDb. I think I might just watch it. It's on Paramount. I have Paramount. I might as well just watch it.
Yeah. I remember way too much about this show. The counselor's name was Ugg. There's a really, really good episode about like a lobster leg eating competition. That one's like top tier for that show. One of the characters is like obsessed with it and like trains to become the best lobster leg eater. And there's one about their like some serial killer that walks through the woods. It's like their ghost story of the camp is also really, really good. So those two are worth checking out. Those pops up in my brain. But Camp Anawana leads us to my number 1 camp I would like to work at, which is Camp North Star from the film Meatballs featuring Bill Murray. This is sort of a proto-film about typical life at camps. Came out around the Porky's era. So it's a real sex, drugs, and rock and roll fueled summer camp film. It's got a little alien guy. It's got intercamp competitions. It has Bill Murray doing his best Bill Murray all the time throughout the entire film. Definitely worth watching. It's peak Bill Murray. It's the best Bill Murray you're going to get in an indie film for a very long time, up until he does whatever it is, Lost in Translation. So from this film to that film, Bill Murray did nothing of useful. But that's what I'm saying, basically. This is the quintessential summer camp movie for me. And it's just a really badass camp. They have this giant competition at the end of it. It's basically like an Olympiad with all these different sports, and it's just definitely worth a watch. Right up there with the Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, I should note, Ty, by the way, for our list, we took Camp Firewood from Wet Hot American Summer off the table.
Yeah.
That was the only thing we took off the table. Yeah. So, okay.
I do love Meatballs. I grew up in a very pro Bill Murray household. Mm-hmm. So Meatballs was, I probably watched it too young, but I loved it.
It's very different watching it now.
Yeah.
It's also like, now I'm trying to picture everything as like, okay, I'm a counselor at this camp. There's kind of no one better to be like, I'm so tired of everything, and then I'll just go talk to Bill Murray to kind of blow off some stuff.
Right?
Yeah, see? Chase had a good choice, man. I got to give him credit. But I will say, my number 1 pick, which Ty already alluded to the film earlier, is Camp Hope from Heavyweights. Not after Ben Stiller's character takes over, but Camp Hope when Jerry Stiller and his wife still run the show.
Yeah, that just seems you're going to work for Tony Perkins?
Yeah, I don't want to work for Tony Perkins, right? I'm feeling skinny, Tony. I don't want to work for Tony Perkins, but I do just want to work for the camp before, because it's like, it's supposed to be like a fitness camp, but it seems like the camp counselors, you could just be like, do some push-ups. No, you don't want to do that? All right, fine. No worries. You know what I mean? It just seems like a pretty chill gig, man. But Camp Hope is my number 1 answer. I love that movie so much. I must have watched Heavyweights about 50 times when I was a kid. I love that film.
It's still good. They don't make like non-animated kids movies like they used to do.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's Heavyweights is like an actual good movie. It's not like a nostalgic, like, oh, this was good when I was, 10 years old. It's still a good movie.
Yeah. And by
everyone
the way,
should go watch it.
Well, the other thing, too, that I think always blows people's minds when they hear it for the first time, because you just don't remember. That movie was co-written by Paul Feig, who wrote Bridesmaids, and Judd Apatow, who everybody knows, right? The 40-year-old virgin or whatever. That movie was co-written by those two dudes. Like, that's crazy, So that's my number 1 is Camp Hope. So,
man, I'd love to see the just solo Apatow 3-hour version of Heavyweights.
Yeah, it runs a little too long, like all of his movies. Just
line-o-ramas again and again.
All right, well, Ty, you've heard our choices, man. You have to pick a winner now. Is it list A for Chase, or is it list B for me?
Yeah, so I'm judging this solely on, I'm a freshman in college. I want to go work at these 3 camps during the summer. I have to go with Chase's list because, Shane, your pander lost you the list.
Oh no!
Because
oh, no.
one of the biggest things about being a summer counselor is finding that summer girlfriend at camp. that person you're gonna crush on, and you had an all boys, camp
that
on
is
there.
True.
It just doesn't. It doesn't play into it.
Oh man, it stings. It stings worse than I thought. Being on the other side of the coin instead of judging this time, it stings a little worse. Yeah.
Also, having Bill Murray as
right.
Yeah, that's a big plus.
I don't care if the whole camp is just hanging out in a room with Bill Murray.
Yeah,
that's worth it. That's fun.
Oh man, well it stings, but I accept the judgment. I fully accept it. So
I would totally go work at all. I would honestly rather go work in Moonrise Kingdom. I'd rather just go work in the lighthouse with oh my gosh.
Like Tilda Swinton,
Die Hard guy. Oh my god!
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Yeah,
doing Die Hard guy. Yeah, fair enough.
Guy.
Oh man. Well, as we start to wind down here, again, Ty, thank you so much for donating your time to come on the show. We really do appreciate it. Where can people? Where can people kind of? You are not a camp counselor anymore, but obviously you have a podcast. Where can people find the podcast? Where can people kind of keep up with you guys if they want to follow along?
Yeah, you can follow us on all social medias at Rank Kings Pod. Don't forget the double K in the middle. You don't want to follow me on social media. It's literally just wedding posts. But if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, I watch too many movies that I can think of. It's just Ty_McGowan. Just search Ty McGowan on Letterboxd and follow my very dumb reviews. 5-star. I've seen Sinners like 3 times now. You can go read all my 3 5-star Sinner reviews.
Nice, dude. Did you get a chance to see it in 70 mil, or is there a screen in Houston?
We don't. Dallas is the closest one, and I'm kind of considering driving up there just to see it in 70 mil. But now Thunderbolts is getting. I went and saw Thunderbolts, and I think they might take over the IMAX. It's really good, y'all.
Yeah.
Marvel's kind of back. Well, it's like Marvel, but with actual like humanity in it, which we haven't gotten in a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I agree, dude. I saw Thunderbolts. I really enjoyed it as well. So, Thunderbolts, should I say, different title? Yeah.
Spoilers.
Asterisk.
Spoilers. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it yet, but yeah.
That was a heck of a long marketing payoff, and I'm not sure that was really the plan from the beginning. I think they just liked that people were talking about it.
I feel just me personally.
It's anyone who read the comics knew what the asterisk meant. Like we all knew what was coming. Like I knew it was going to be that. But
I feel like it was a misstep to do what they did. I feel like after the first weekend, the marketing campaign for all of this week should have been keep the secret. Big win, right? Like keep the secret. Because now you can spend all week getting people who weren't excited opening weekend to go see it after. So second weekend, so next Monday, that's when they should have changed the title of the movie and done the big reveal. Because if you don't see a movie the first 2 weekends, you're not that excited about seeing the movie, and so you don't care if there's like a spoiler. But I feel like all week they could have done a like keep the secret wink wink type thing and built up buzz, because then everybody would have been like, what's secret? What's going on? You could have pushed people to the theater this weekend. But anyway.
And our next episode we have you on is going to be about the strategies of feature film release and marketing.
Exactly.
So we're all experts at it. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Ty. It's been a wonderful pleasure talking to you today. If you want to keep up with our show, you can follow us on Instagram at TwoDrinkMaximum, which is TWODRINKMAXIMUM. May finally have it memorized at this point.
Yeah,
we also want to give a shout out and thank you to our sponsors, The Muse Room, which is a creative co-working space in Hollywood, Burbank, and very soon Glendale. So check them out at themuserooms.com. That's MUSE for Muse. And yeah, we all now have to get shipped off to summer camp so we can live our best lives in the woods.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.